Welcome back to Sleepers Podcast. I'm Mike. Tonight we're talking about that strange, quiet loneliness of feeling like nobody really knows you. Not because people dislike you. Sometimes they do like you. Sometimes they know your stories, your habits, your coffee order, little routines. But they still may not know the deeper place you live from. And with me tonight is my friend Veronica, who I trust with this kind of conversation because she always seems to notice the thing underneath the thing. Veronica, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. That is very kind. Also slightly dangerous because now I feel responsible for noticing things underneath things.
No pressure. Just gently perceive the hidden structure of the human soul for the next 15 minutes.
Perfect. Very casual, very late night.
How are you tonight?
I'm good. A little quiet, but in that soft way where your brain gets slower and maybe more honest.
That is ideal for this show.
It really is. I'm in my official late evening truth-telling mode.
I like that. Tonight's topic came from a feeling that I think a lot of people have, but don't always say out loud. It's being surrounded by people who technically know you and maybe even care about you, but still feeling like they only know pieces of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know your personality, but not your inner life.
That one lands. That is very real.
And it's tricky because it doesn't always look like loneliness from the outside. You might have friends. You might be included. People might laugh when you talk. They might say, "Oh, I know you so well."
Right, and you're sitting there thinking, do you?
Exactly.
Because you know that I hate olives and I leave every party early. That is not the same as knowing me.
It's good information.
Important information, honestly, foundational, but still not the whole person.
There's a difference between being liked and being known.
Completely. Being liked can be about the version of you that's easiest to be around. The fun version, the helpful version, the calm version. The version that doesn't require anyone to slow down too much.
That's such a good way to put it. The version that fits neatly into the room.
Right. And sometimes people like that version sincerely. It's not fake on their part. They're not doing anything wrong. But you can still feel this little ache of, there is so much more happening in here than anyone is asking about.
And sometimes it feels worse when people mean well.
For sure. Because then you feel guilty for feeling lonely.
Right. You think, they're nice to me. They invite me. They remember my birthday. Why do I still feel unseen? And then you start arguing with your own loneliness like it's being rude. That's good. Your loneliness is acting ungrateful.
Exactly. Like, excuse me, loneliness. People bought you cupcakes.
Please behave.
Please be polite in the group chat.
But there is something very specific about being known incorrectly. Or being known only in one category.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, people decide you are the strong one, or the easy one, or the funny one, or the responsible one.
The one who doesn't mind.
That one is dangerous.
Very dangerous. The one who doesn't mind becomes the one nobody checks with.
And then if you do mind, it feels like you're breaking character.
That is exactly it. You feel like you've violated the terms of service of your own personality.
I have agreed to remain low maintenance at all times.
Even when emotionally buffering.
That should be on a mug.
A very sad mug.
Do you remember a time where someone misunderstood you in a small way? Not the deep wound version, just the everyday kind.
I have one that is so stupid and yet somehow explains my whole life.
Perfect. Those are my favorite.
So years ago, at this office I worked in, everyone decided I was the salad girl.
The salad girl?
the salad girl. Because for maybe 2 weeks, I brought salad for lunch. Not even fancy salad. It was just lettuce having a hard day.
Lettuce having a hard day.
Truly. Limp spinach, some chicken, dressing in a tiny container that always betrayed me. But after that, everyone acted like I was this disciplined wellness person. People would be eating pizza and they'd look at me and go, "Oh, Veronica probably doesn't want any."
No.
Mike, I wanted the pizza so badly.
That's heartbreaking.
I know. And the worst part is, I kept saying, "No, I love pizza." But they had already filed me away. Like, "Oh, she's being polite. She's the salad one."
You became a lifestyle brand against your will.
Completely against my will. And then one day, someone said, "You're so healthy. I could never be like you." And I was sitting there with a drawer full of emergency chocolate, just quietly living a lie I never chose.
That is so funny, but also exactly the thing.
It is tiny, but it made me realize how quickly people turn one visible habit into a whole identity. They saw me eat vegetables for 10 business days and decided I had inner peace.
10 business days.
That's all it takes.
And then you almost have to spend energy correcting something that shouldn't matter.
Right. And it feels silly to correct. Like, am I really gonna stand up in the break room and announce, "I am more complicated than this salad,"
I think you should have.
with a fork in hand?
A historic speech.
Friends, coworkers, please know my heart contains carbs.
Beautiful.
But that's the small version. People see one little pattern and mistake it for the whole map.
That's such a clean way to say it. One pattern becomes the map.
And sometimes you just go along with it because it's easier. You think, "Fine, I'm the salad girl. Fine, I'm the calm one. Fine, I'm the one who doesn't need much." And then later, you wonder why you feel lonely.
Because nobody can see through a role you keep agreeing to play.
Exactly. Even if you only agreed by being tired.
I had something like that when I was younger. I think I got known as the steady one, the reasonable one, which sounds nice.
It does. It sounds like a compliment people give right before asking you to carry something heavy.
That is exactly what it became. I was the person people came to when they needed calm. And I liked being useful. I still do. I like being able to sit with people and not panic. That makes sense for you. But the problem was, people started assuming that because I could sound calm, I was calm. Those are not the same thing.
No, they are very much not.
I remember one specific night in my 20s. I was going through something I didn't really know how to talk about. Nothing dramatic from the outside, just a hard season. A breakup, money stress, that strange feeling of not knowing what I was doing with my life. And I went out with a few friends because I didn't want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole night, people kept pulling me aside to ask for advice. Relationship advice, work advice, family stuff. And I answered. I did the thing. I listened. I was thoughtful.
Of course.
But I remember walking home after, and it hit me that nobody had asked me one real question all night.
Oh, Mike.
Not in a cruel way. They weren't bad friends. They just knew me as the person who had space for them. They didn't know I was running out of space.
That hurts in such a quiet way.
It did. And I think that was one of the first times I realized being trusted is not always the same as being known.
That is painfully true.
People trusted my steadiness, but they didn't know the cost of it.
And when people are used to receiving that from you, they can forget to wonder where it comes from, or whether you still have enough of it.
Right. It's not malicious.
It's more like they are comforted by your role, so they stop looking for the person inside it.
That happens in families a lot.
It really does.
Families love roles, even good families. Maybe especially good families, because everyone thinks the roles are affectionate. The responsible one, the sensitive one, the chaotic one, the baby, the achiever, the one who always helps clean up after dinner.
The one who knows where the tape is.
Every family has a tape person.
And they are tired.
Deeply tired. Standing in the kitchen, holding the tape, wondering if anyone knows their dreams.
That might be the episode title.
The tape person has a soul.
I would listen.
Same.
But those roles can be so sticky. Even when you change, people keep relating to the version of you they memorized.
That is one of the strangest parts of growing up. You can do years of becoming different, and then you go home for one holiday meal, and suddenly everyone is speaking to a version of you from 2009.
And you can feel yourself getting pulled back into it.
Immediately. Someone makes one comment, and suddenly you are 14 again, defending your haircut.
A haircut that no longer exists.
Exactly. The ghost of Bang's past.
Very powerful ghost.
Too powerful.
There's a grief in that, though. Realizing some people don't know your current reality. They know your old outline.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they love that outline. That's the hard part. They're not rejecting you. They're attached to who you were when they first felt they understood you.
That's generous.
I try to remember that. Not always successfully. Sometimes I'm just annoyed.
Fair.
Because it's exhausting to translate yourself over and over. To keep saying, I'm not really like that anymore. I don't think that way now. I actually need different things. I know I used to be okay with this, but I'm not now.
And even explaining that can feel like too much.
Completely. Sometimes you don't want to give a full presentation on your inner development. You just want someone to notice that the old label doesn't fit.
That's where the second question matters.
Oh, the second question is everything.
The first question is, how are you? The second question is, no, really, how have you been sleeping? Or, you got quiet when you said that. What happened?
Right. It's the question that proves someone didn't just bump into your answer. They listened to it.
And it can be so disarming.
It can almost make you emotional faster than a big dramatic confession.
Because it's small enough to feel real.
Exactly. Someone noticing one small true thing can undo you.
I had that happen once with a friend. It was not a huge moment. We were walking to get coffee, and I was talking normally, or what I thought was normally. And I made some joke about being tired. The kind of joke everyone makes. And she just looked at me and said, "You always make it funny when you're actually worried."
Oh.
And I remember feeling almost embarrassed.
Because she saw the hinge.
She saw the hinge. That's the perfect word. She didn't solve anything. She didn't turn it into a serious conversation right away. She just noticed. And for some reason, that felt more intimate than someone saying, "I'm here for you," in a broad way.
Because it was specific.
Right. It told me she had been paying attention to my actual pattern, not just my personality.
That distinction is so important. A lot of people know your personality. Fewer people know your patterns.
Personality is what shows up in the room.
Patterns are what happen when you're trying to survive the room.
That is very Veronica.
I accept that.
Warm and slightly devastating.
That is also my dating profile.
Strong tagline.
Thank you.
Do you think we hide because we're afraid people won't understand? Or because we're afraid they will?
Both. Definitely both. There's the fear that if you show the real answer, someone will look uncomfortable. Or they'll try to fix it too fast. Or they'll say the wrong thing and now you have to take care of their reaction.
That is such a common one.
It is. But then there's also the fear that someone might actually see you clearly. And that can feel risky in a different way.
Because then you can't pretend you don't need anything.
Right. Or you can't pretend the thing doesn't matter. Being known creates a kind of responsibility. Not in a bad way, but once someone sees the tender part, you have to admit it exists.
That's vulnerable.
Very. So sometimes when people ask how we are, we give the neat answer. The answer with shoes on.
The answer with shoes on.
You know what I mean. Presentable. Ready to leave the house.
I do know what you mean.
The real answer is barefoot somewhere in the kitchen at midnight, eating cereal out of a mug.
That answer is not prepared for company.
Not at all. So we hide it. And then we feel sad that nobody knows it.
Which is complicated because we participated in our own invisibility.
That part is annoying. I don't enjoy being responsible for any portion of my own emotional mystery.
Understandable.
I would prefer to be discovered accurately, with no effort on my part.
Like a rare bird.
Exactly! Someone just spots me through binoculars and says, "Ah, there she is. She's overwhelmed, but pretending the errands are fine."
Nature documentary voice.
Notice how she laughs before asking for help.
Painfully accurate.
Terrible. Beautiful. I hate it.
You mentioned once, I think, a friendship where you felt loved but not exactly seen. Is that something you want to talk about?
I can. It's not a dramatic story, which almost makes it harder to explain.
Those are often the real ones.
I had a friend years ago, someone I really cared about. We spent a lot of time together. We had all the signs of closeness. Long dinners, voice notes, inside jokes, knowing the small details. She knew what snacks I liked, what movies I rewatched, which people annoyed me at work.
The practical file.
Exactly. The practical file was full. And I think from the outside, we looked very close. We were close in many ways. But over time, I realized she only really knew the cheerful, available version of me.
The easy to reach Veronica.
Yes. The one who replied thoughtfully. The one who could make something lighter. The one who could say, "No, don't worry, I get it." And I did get it. But I was also going through a pretty lonely stretch then. I was anxious a lot. I felt unsure of myself. I was tired in this bone-deep way.
Did she know?
Not really. And the thing is, I tried to tell her, but I think I tried softly. I would say little things like, "I've been kind of off lately," or "I'm having a weird week." And she would say something kind, but then the conversation would move on.
She didn't ask the second question.
She didn't. And I don't think she meant to miss me. She was loving in the way she knew how to be loving, but I started to feel like I had to stay understandable for her.
That is a heavy sentence.
It was heavy to live. Because if I was too complicated, I could feel her sort of not leaving exactly, more like looking for the familiar door back into me. The joke, the reassurance, the version that made sense.
So you gave her that door.
I did, over and over. And then I felt lonely inside a friendship that was full of contact.
That's the phrase. Full of contact, but still lonely.
Right. We were talking constantly, but I wasn't really being met.
And that can make you question yourself. You think, maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe this is what closeness is. Maybe everyone is only known in pieces.
There is some truth to that.
There is. Nobody can know all of you. I don't even know all of me. I surprise myself in grocery stores.
As one does.
I once cried in the pasta aisle because a song was playing that my grandmother liked. So, I'm not claiming to be a simple assignment.
None of us are.
But there's a difference between being partially known because people are human and being reduced because it's more convenient.
That's very clear.
And eventually with that friend, I noticed I was editing myself before I even spoke. Not because she was cool, just because the friendship had a shape, and my real feelings didn't fit inside it very well.
Did anything change?
Slowly. We didn't have a big scene. We just became a little less central to each other. Which was sad, but also peaceful. And I learned something from it. I learned that being liked by someone doesn't always mean you can rest with them.
That's a painful lesson.
It is, but it's useful. Because now, I pay attention to who I can be tired around.
That might be one of the best measures of closeness.
I think so. Who can see you when you're not performing the version of yourself that keeps the room comfortable?
Who doesn't punish you for being less convenient?
Exactly. Who doesn't look personally betrayed when you have needs?
That's such a specific fear. Becoming a burden if people really know what you feel.
Oh, that fear runs deep. Especially if you grew up being praised for not needing much.
The easy one.
The easy one. That role seems gentle, but it can get lonely fast. Because people keep rewarding your silence.
They call it maturity.
Or strength. Or being low drama.
And then when you finally say, actually, I'm hurt, everyone looks confused.
Or they say, but you never said anything.
Which is true and not the whole truth.
Exactly. Because sometimes you didn't say anything because every room had already taught you what it preferred from you.
Calm, helpful, funny, fine.
Fine is such a tiny word for how much it can hide.
It does a lot of labor.
Too much. Fine needs a vacation.
Fine is unionizing.
Finally.
I think humor does this too. It can connect you to people and hide you from them at the same time.
Absolutely. Funny people can disappear in plain sight.
Because everyone feels close to the laugh.
But not always to the wound underneath it.
And sometimes the funny one is funny because they learned how to control the room.
Right. If I can make you laugh, maybe you won't ask why my hands are shaking.
Or maybe I can stay loved without being examined.
That too. Being known sounds beautiful, but being examined sounds awful.
There is a difference.
A huge one. I don't want someone to stare into my soul with a flashlight.
Too bright.
Far too bright. I want someone to sit nearby with a little lamp.
A little lamp is good.
Warm light. No interrogation. Maybe snacks.
That's the dream.
Honestly, most emotional safety is just a little lamp and snacks.
I believe that.
And a second question.
And a second question.
But not 27 questions.
Important distinction.
Very important. Some people here ask deeper questions and become a detective.
Where were you emotionally on the night of April 3rd?
Exactly. Please stop. I just said I had a weird week.
There's a gentleness to being known well. It doesn't demand the whole story immediately.
It lets things arrive.
And it understands that even partial understanding can matter.
That's so true. Sometimes you don't need someone to understand the entire architecture of your heart. You just need them to notice one room.
One room with a chair in it.
Maybe a weird lamp,
Always a weird lamp.
but that can be enough. Someone saying, I know this part of you is real. That can feel deeply comforting.
And maybe being known isn't about being perfectly understood.
It can't be. Perfect understanding is too much to ask from another human being. We barely understand what we want for dinner.
Every night, a crisis.
Every single night. Standing in front of the fridge like it has betrayed us.
So maybe the hope is not someone will know everything.
Maybe it's someone will stay curious.
That feels right.
Someone won't assume the first version is the final version.
Someone will let you change.
And someone will believe you when you say, I know I used to be okay with that, but I'm not anymore.
That is such a gift.
It really is.
I'm thinking about the people who know our habits, but not our hearts. They know we take coffee with oat milk. They know we answer texts late. They know we always sit in the corner seat.
But they don't know why the corner seat feels safer.
Exactly.
Or they know you're organized, but not that being organized is how you manage fear.
They know you're quiet, but not that you're listening for signs of rejection.
They know you're helpful, but not that you're hoping usefulness will keep you included.
That one stings.
It does. And again, not in a dramatic way, more in a sitting in the car for a minute before going inside way.
The official unit of adult sadness.
Truly. 5 minutes in a parked car can contain an entire emotional weather system.
It really can.
And then someone texts, you good? And you type, all good. Because how do you summarize the weather system?
That's another part of it. The exhaustion of summarizing your inner life.
It's exhausting. Especially when you can sense the other person only has room for the headline.
So you give him the headline.
Busy week, a lot going on, just tired. These little phrases that are true, but also tiny locked doors.
Tiny locked doors.
And sometimes you wish someone would gently knock.
Not kick it down.
Please no. Just knock. And maybe say, I'm here when you want to open that.
That's a very different kind of knowing.
It is. It's not hungry. It's patient.
I like that. Patient knowing.
I think that's what feels safe. Not someone trying to consume every hidden part of you, just someone willing to keep learning you over time.
Because we are not one fixed thing.
No. We're all changing. Quietly. Even the people who seem consistent are changing in tiny ways.
And maybe one of the loneliest things is when people don't update their understanding of you.
They're using old software.
Old emotional software.
Very buggy.
Keeps crashing at family dinners.
Needs a patch.
Desperately.
But honestly, I think it helps to remember that we do this to other people too.
We do.
We freeze people, not always on purpose. We decide, This friend is confident. This sibling is irresponsible. This parent never changes. This person doesn't care. And sometimes we stop checking.
That is fair.
It's humbling. Because I want to be known as a living person, not a summary. But then I have to offer that to other people too.
Let them be more than the last version I understood.
Exactly. Which is hard when the last version hurt you, or annoyed you, or borrowed your sweater and never gave it back.
Some wounds are deep.
That sweater was perfect.
I hear you.
Thank you.
There's also something tender about finding even one person who sees past your usual performance.
One person can change the whole room.
They really can.
Because then you're not carrying the entire truth alone. Even if they only know a piece, it's a real piece.
And you can breathe a little.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to keep proving that you exist beneath the surface.
That's what this topic comes down to for me. The difference between being visible and being known.
Say more.
Being visible is people seeing what you do, how you act, the role you play, the way you move through the room. Being known is someone understanding that there is an inner weather behind all of that.
I like that.
They don't have to forecast it perfectly.
Good, because nobody can.
But they know it's there. They don't mistake the surface for the whole sky.
That's beautiful, Mike.
Thank you.
And very weather heavy.
I got attached to it.
No, keep it. It's soft. This is a night show. We can have weather.
We can have weather.
I think being known is partly someone remembering that your inner life continues when they're not looking.
That is very good.
Because sometimes people only imagine you in relation to them. They know you as their friend, their kid, their partner, their coworker. But they forget you have a whole private world when you leave the room.
Your own fears, memories, little rituals, things you're still trying to forgive.
Songs that ruin you in grocery stores.
Pasta aisle grief.
Exactly.
And maybe when someone really knows you, they hold that in mind. They remember that you are not just the version that appears for them.
That feels like love to me. Not dramatic love, just quiet love. The kind that says, I know there is more to you than what I need from you.
That might be the heart of it.
I think so.
And for anyone listening who feels this way, I don't think the answer is to suddenly explain your entire soul to everyone.
Please don't. Everyone is resting.
Everyone is resting.
Also, your soul deserves better than a rushed group chat paragraph.
It does.
Maybe it starts smaller. Being a little more honest with one safe person. Or noticing who asks the second question. Or giving yourself permission to stop performing fine when fine is no longer true.
And maybe also grieving, gently, that some people may only ever know your role.
That's real.
Not angrily, necessarily, just honestly.
Some people can love you and still not have much room for your full complexity.
And that's sad.
It is sad, but it doesn't mean your complexity is too much.
It just means it needs the right kind of room.
The little lamp room,
With snacks.
always with snacks.
Veronica, thank you for this. I feel like we covered salad identity, emotional software, and the soul of the family tape person.
A full evening.
Truly. Any final soft thought before we close?
Maybe just that being known can be imperfect can still be real. Someone doesn't have to understand every corner of you to offer comfort. Sometimes it's enough that they notice one true thing and don't look away.
That's a good place to land. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you, Mike. This was really lovely.
And thank you for listening to Sleepers Podcast. If tonight's conversation found you in that quiet place of feeling liked but not fully known, I hope it kept you company for a little while. You do not have to be perfectly understood to be real. And even the hidden parts of you are still worthy of gentleness. This was episode 14 of Sleepers Podcast. Rest well, take your time, and we'll be back soon.